Matt Wilson, Casey Cunningham, how are you?
I am well, Casey. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm a blessed woman. Thank you so much for spending this. We're taping this on a Friday. I don't know when we're going to post it, but Friday afternoon, when a lot of people are winding down, here we are. We're all in working. So thanks for your time today.
Well, that's just par for the course in this industry, right?
Isn't that the truth? Well, I have this huge privilege of interviewing the MBA presidents from around the country. And I know you are the MBA president for Mississippi. Is that correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And it pays a lot, right? Like big paycheck, huge.
I am getting to retire early.
Got it.
Just in a couple of years.
And so I'm reaching out to these MBA presidents who are really helping to shape out this amazing industry and saying thank you, number one, because it's a tough job. And the mortgage industry is going through some tough times.
Sure.
And we'll say shifting times. So let me ask you some questions about that. The first one is, how long have you been the president of the Mississippi MBA?
I actually got installed in April of 2019. I was the first president to be installed via Zoom. March of 2019 is when everything went on shutdown. Typically, we do installations in April at the Great River Conference in Memphis every year because we have somebody from from the National MBA there to install us, which, we weren't able to do for obvious reasons. So I always tell people I was the first one that was installed via Zoom with a shirt, tie, and jacket and pajama pants on.
Oh my gosh.
And
Party on the bottom, business on top.
Exactly. We have 2-year terms, but this year we have changed our bylaws, which extended the executive board for another year.
For another year. All right. Well, congratulations on taking over that role. So what are your top 3 priorities right now for your MBA?
Well, the first one is always education content for our members, right? Because that is the foundation of the organization, is for us to be able to go out and be those expert local lenders for our communities. We have to know what's going on in business, not just from one aspect, but from every aspect, whether that is the secondary market, capital markets, whether that's changes in processing, technology, MI, insurance, etc. So we have to always continue to educate ourselves so we can continue to have that reputation in the community as being expert lenders. Something else that has been really important to us, or to me and my board, is bringing new faces into the organization. And again, that's not just always lenders and people that are directly in the industry, but we are wanting to bring more of our affiliates in, because what a wealth of knowledge does our affiliates have. Our closing attorneys, our settlement agents, our insurance agents. Here in Mississippi, we just had a great call about hurricane insurance, and how that is going to impact the coast. So bringing in new faces, bringing in younger faces, people that are new to the industry. I always say, and I'll probably say it 2 or 3 times on this call, and it'll probably be on my tombstone, but we are an organization of competitors, but we are an organization of friends first. And we're fierce competitors, right? And especially since the market is shifting, there's a lot of us in that room that like to win, that like to see our name on that number 1 spot. But we all, because this industry is so stressful, we all have a genuine interest in each other, not only just on the business aspect, but on a personal level as well. And that's what makes our organization so amazing and so great. So just, again, we want to make sure that people know that, yes, we're competitors, but we're also there for each other to get through this, industry together. So bringing in new faces, again, younger people that are coming into the industry, and our affiliates. And then I guess we got so many initiatives right now, Casey, going on.
Sure, right.
Well, we kind of lost 2 years there, so we're trying to cram so much in. But one of the initiatives that I'm extremely proud of is our initiative to increase Mississippi's AMP CMB designations. We started that we have 2 candidates going through it right now, with me being one of them, and we're about to start our 3rd candidate, where our organization is actually sponsoring them or giving a stipend for people to go through to get the school mortgage banking classes as well as the CMB. So we're super excited about that. Our goal is to graduate 1 a year and to bring Mississippi from having the least amount to climb that ladder to the top spot.
That's excellent. All right. So I heard 3 major initiatives, right? Education, new faces. By the way, I love the fact of new faces, fresh faces, people that they may or may not have seen, as well as getting the designations and trying to show that, hey, we're a group of professionals. All right. Now, I heard you say something about the younger people, and we're looking at right now building that next generation. Is there anything that your group right now is specifically doing to help build the younger generation?
It is in the very beginning phases, and it's not something that Mississippi is taking on alone. Mississippi is obviously one of the 4 hosting states for the Great River Conference in Memphis, Tennessee every year. So I have been able to really get to spend some time and get to know other leaders in those state organizations as well. And one of the things that we kind of think about is for the younger people is how do we bring on lenders that are coming out of college at 100% commission, which the majority of us are, and rightfully so, that's the industry, but that's a huge undertaking for someone that's fresh out of school saying, hey, here's a real world,
Well, here's a job, right?
Right. And, something that we have thought about is, really tasking the regional banks, the community banks, and the banks that we have grasp on, the banks that we represent in our organization, is to obviously get involved with the recruitment out in the colleges, as well as build some type of compensation plan where they start out on a salary, and then throughout over the years, 2, 3 years, obviously go more from salary to commission as they build their business, their book of business.
Listen, there is so much opportunity, and I think that you're at the beginning stages, because I've been building rookies for 20 years. I've had XINNIX, and prior to that was building rookies as well. But and a lot of people think that there's this the challenge of how do I get it paid back. To me, the payback is easy, but a lot of people don't go after rookies because of what you said. How do you get these college kids to go 100% commission? And I think we're missing the opportunity. It's not hard to convince them to jump into our industry if you position it right and you create a comp package that is a huge win-win for both. And by the way, I can talk to you offline about how to do that. So tell me this. What made you want to volunteer, raise your hand and say, I want to be the MBA president for Mississippi? Because I know we jokingly said at the beginning, it's a high paying job, but all the MBA presidents around the country are volunteers that care about the mortgage industry. So what made you say you put your name in that?
Well, like we were talking about, I was one of those new young faces many years ago that when I first kind of got into the industry, I was like, why am I going to the mortgage bankers meeting to be around my competitors? I was like, I didn't get it, right? It didn't make sense.
Right.
And my boss came to town, he's like, you're going. So I was like, okay, well, you're my boss, so we're going. And when I went in there, and I remember what the presentation was on, I remember being introduced and just the warmness of, being welcomed into it and realizing what the common goal is and the objectives are. So, I mean, that got me inspired to be, get more involved. And obviously, I think of myself as a natural leader. So as a natural leader gets involved in something, they want to grow and be as successful as they can in that, any position they can do for it. So it's a great organization. I have some really great friends, and that like I said, we are all business, all business people, but have that genuine personal interest in each other's lives as well.
Oh, well, God bless you. All right. So you said you're a natural leader. I believe that, by the way, and just the time I've had with you. What do you think the most critical attributes are for great leaders?
Oh, Casey, I think there's probably tens of thousands of different definitions for leadership, right?
Sure.
Because everybody's leadership traits are different. Everybody's not the same type of leader. That doesn't make one a better leader or a lesser leader. It's just a different type of leader. I do feel like there is one very common pillar, though, that almost every definition has to have, and that's passion, right? So if you're a passionate leader, you create an environment where it's one, welcoming, two, it brings an excitement to it, and those allow whoever you're leading to buy into your vision. And when you have that buy-in, when you have that investment from your group or your peers or whoever that you have, then that's when things actually starts getting accomplished. So that's where I really, the attributes, again, we can list so many of them, but, leading by example, someone that constantly reviews themselves to see how they can change for the better. I will tell you that I think that there's one, attribute to leadership that has always been kind of in the definition, but it's always been kind of glossed over, and that's adaptability. And I think that if anything, since all those years of it being glossed over, adaptability came back and slapped us all in the face with COVID, because we went from living a normal life to being sheltered in place overnight. And we still had a business to run. We still have families to support. We still have loans to get through. Not only that, obviously the mortgage business is going to do the direct opposite of what, everybody thinks it's going to do. We're going to get absolutely busy and have some of the biggest production years ever. And we're trying to figure out how to do all this from home. So, adaptability is like I said, it came back and slapped us all in the face. Even with the organization, we went from, okay, we're not allowed to meet in person. How do we just kind of take 2 years off? Which I knew was not the answer, because again, we still had to have that education piece of it. So, adaptability, and there's those 2 points that are right under adaptability. And one of that being is, you're going to fail. It's not if you're going to fail, it's when you're going to fail. And the measurement of that failure is basically, how fast can you get up? How fast can you recover and realize, okay, that did not work, let's move on to plan B. And you do that by having your second point is having a very diverse group of people around you. I have been very blessed with, membership as well as the other board members. I have diversity across the board in every category. We have new board members. We have members that have been on the board a few times, and that obviously complements each other. We got affiliates on the board. We have so much resource and knowledge on the board. So again, adaptability now has become something that I think we're all very experienced in and realize the importance of it.
Well, I got to tell you, pretty sage advice in that skill set, because adaptability is the ones who survive.
Right.
You just said something that I tell my children, and I would tell any business owner, specifically I started with my kids at a very young age, is that be ready. You will have problems your entire life.
Oh, yeah.
The difference between you and the person next to you is how you respond to those problems. So knowing you're going to fail at something, saying, but that doesn't mean it's the end, and being able to adapt to the moment and learn from it, grow from it. And I call it fail forward. You fail forward and you move on, you learn. So I appreciate you, because there's no doubt that the Mississippi MBA is blessed to have you. So let's talk about sort of the future, if you don't mind. Think about the words leadership and legacy. Whether you have the official title or not, no matter where you are in life, there's some kind of legacy, but you're leading the MBA of Mississippi. When you finally let go and you step out, what do you hope is the legacy is that you leave?
It's still going to be written. No matter whether I have a title or not, I will be just as active in the MBA as possible. So, let's just put that application as TBD for right now.
Okay. All right. So you can't even see it in the future, can you?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, obviously people are placed in positions for certain times. I felt like I was placed as the president MBA during COVID for a reason. and I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish with the help of so many people that were willing to just jump in and get it done. And then now, since we're hopefully in a post-pandemic world, now we get to really get back in there and get our hands dirty and come up with the next set of issues that we need to address.
What would you say your biggest accomplishment has been over the past 2 years? Is there something that you're really, really proud of?
Yes, I am proud of the way that our state came together during COVID. The way that people volunteered, went out of their way. It actually, if there was any silver linings in it, is it made our state organization, not just local chapters, but our state organization much closer, because, we ended up having to go virtually. So we just did it as a state Zoom meeting as opposed to each local chapter.
Wow.
And we were able to still, again, and things were moving so fast, so incredibly fast during COVID, that we were able to bring in people that gave us that important training, because, we still had a ton of business, working outrageous hours, but we made sure if we were asking people to stop for 45 minutes of their day, that we bring in that meat and potatoes content. And we did, and we're a stronger and better organization for it now. So I am proud of how the organization did during those 2 years.
That's wonderful. All right, let's end with this question. This is a big one, because you said number one initiative was educational content.
Mm-hmm.
Providing that to your members, right? Bringing value to them to help them.
Absolutely.
Can you sort of share maybe your very best educational moment that you might have had? Or is there one that's coming in the future that you're hoping to plan to bring education to your members?
Well, we are, I don't know if this was an initiative or just a goal of mine, but we're having our fall conference in October at the coast. And I am not, so when I started my career, I used to love conferences, right? I was young, I was single, they were fun. Now I'm married, I have a 2-year-old, and every time I go to the national MBA or something like that, I'm always like wanting to fly home a day early because I miss my family. So I always tell people now that if I go to a conference, I need that content, I need that meat and potatoes in there. So we were actually able to, with our fall conference, bring in 2 of our major initiatives, which is education. We're bringing in a fantastic speaker that's from Mississippi. And then we're also going to have a panel discussion that is from everybody from like different areas of the industry. And then we're also going to have somebody from Fannie Mae there. So again, it's taking time out, but the second piece it also brings in is we're actually going to be offering CE to our realtor partners as well. So again, it's that education and then bringing in new faces into the organization. And these two industries, being the mortgage and being a real estate agent, intertwine more than probably 2 industries ever will. So it's absolutely crucial for us to be together and be one and have the same common goal.
Well, what's exciting about interviewing you is I have a young mortgage professional who's raised their hand and said, I want to help this industry that's feeding your family now that you're married with the 2-year-old. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
But I appreciate all the MBA presidents, specifically you in your youth, that you're saying, I want to help and I want to lead this organization. There's no doubt that your fall conference will be wildly successful. And we're here for you at XINNIX if you ever need any assistance. But I wanted to say thank you.
Appreciate that. And again, like I said, it's truly an honor to be able to serve the organization, because it's a great organization.
Well, God bless you, man. Thank you again. And I'll be watching you.
All right. Good to see you again, Casey.
Great to see you as well. And take care.
Bye-bye.